So that's what it looks like on the outside, but it's pretty deceptive because it's really deep and lots of stuff happens in there. So you may see it if you're a Bunbury local, but if you're not, because I'm not a Bunbury local, we are spread out. The business advisory team, we're between Southwest and Peel, and we cover a lot of different areas of business for people from startup through to established, and if also if you've got some challenges and you're declining. So we cover a lot of areas, and IPS Management Consultants, we're one of the arms. IPS Business Advisory is one of the arms. There's a research arm, organisational, cultural arm, and in community services. So it's expanding. And just from the business advisory point of view, our sessions are free with the business advisor, and also we have referral partners, one of which is Mitch from Breathe, and you'll hear from Mitch a bit later. Okay, thank you. Okay. The two things I I know about creatives in the Southwest. One is that I love working with them. And I've worked with a lot, especially during Margaret River Region Open Studios. So they've been around for quite some time. And I've worked with the members of Margaret River Region Open Studios for about 4 years. And I've met some pretty amazing people. I'll just talk about that a little bit later. But the second thing I wanted to share with you is that creative talent deserves to get paid. This is clear. Okay, so I'm really glad that you're here. For those of you who are thinking about turning a hobby into a business, or if you're just moving into that space, welcome, and I look forward to meeting some of you later. Let's go to the next one. Indeed, that's great. Okay, so there are some really exceptional artists that I've had the opportunity to meet through MROS, Margaret River Region Open Studios, and a lot of them, or not all of them, sorry, some of them are well known in the region, but then there are those who are also emerging. And this includes painters, photographers, textile artists, ceramicists, potters, installation artists, jewellers. So I really worked across a lot of the different types of creatives. The artists in business, this is an interesting parallel. Some would even say that using the word artist and business in the same sentence is a bit of a paradox, but it doesn't have to be that way. So what is clear is that each artist is passionate about what they do. Sometimes so much so that they're in the flow and they're in the zone, and that's all they want to do. They just want to do their art. And sometimes they just forget about the other stuff that still needs to get done, right? Especially when you're looking at running a business. And this is where business advisory comes in. Over the last 3 years, I've had the opportunity to educate MROS members about social media, how to tell their story, the customer journey, in readiness for open studios and beyond that time. So it's really about helping them, set up for open studios and then helping them in their business journey after that. To spend time with a business advisor can set you up for an amazing ride, especially around business growth and development. What can you learn? Well, I'm not going to be here listing points for you. What I've decided to do is to introduce you to two artists that used our service over the course of a few years, and I'd like to relay their story that they wrote, and so you can get the artist perspective. Okay, if you could Dean, we need. Oh, sorry, next one. So we're about to meet two artists. Not you guys, not yet. Okay, here we go, right here, Lara. Lara Louise, couple joke. So this is Lara. Lara, when I first met her, she was doing, she was painting animals, beautiful paintings of animals. She's now evolved over the last 3-4 years, and this is where she currently is at with her work. So this is what Lara has to say. She says, I met Sana for the first time when she introduced herself to me in 2018 during Margaret River Region Open Studios. And she told me about the free business advisory service and how she might be able to help me move my business forward. Sana helped me in a lot of ways. In the beginning, it was mainly foundational. Things like setting up a profit and loss spreadsheet, what I can claim, giving me tips on how to promote myself on social media, who my clients are, how to connect with them, as well as other small business owners in the region. The game changer for me was the goal setting and accountability workshop. Sana teamed us up with an accountability partner, or a buddy, and we discussed our goals and how we go about reaching them. And what happened was that they would come back and they'd discuss their achievements during the follow-up meetings, which were spread out over about 3 months. Lara says, I still use this technique now, a few years later, often discussing my goals with fellow artists. So that to me is brilliant in itself. She's just carried that through. Sana encouraged me to step out of my comfort zone to provide workshops to homeschooling groups, which was a big learning curve, and it was a confidence boost for me. The skills Sana taught me helped me grow my business, have a plan where I want to go with my career as an artist, as well as teaching me to look around and find new ways to promote myself and my business. I can honestly say the most important thing that Sana taught me is self-confidence and the belief in my own business. That's Lara. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, the lovely Georgia Zoric. She's a ceramicist. She's very unique in what she does, and her work walks out the door. Georgia has this to say. I first met Sana at a grant workshop in VAS 2019. It was a wonderful experience, but one that ultimately and thankfully removed the idea of chasing grants as a way to fund my new creative pathway. I found myself in a position where my newfound ceramics hobby was rapidly transforming into a business in which I had absolutely no experience whatsoever, and I was becoming overwhelmed. Sana was able to walk me through a list of basic first steps, such as registering a business name, registering for an ABN, opening the first business bank account, which was a great step forward, Georgia, simple bookkeeping techniques, how to prioritise spending. We had discussions about how to set my prices. We set goals for future works and exhibitions and tactics on how to use social media to my advantage. The service Sana provided was a gift at what turned out to be such a pivotal moment in my life. It was invaluable advice for which I'll be eternally grateful. So these are just 2 people that I met over the course of the last few years, and there's plenty more. And they're wonderful. They're doing great things. Not just now that they're blossoming into being creative artists in a professional sense. Next slide. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pass this sheet out, and essentially it's if you're interested in me contacting you to call you over the next few days about your business, please just pop your details here. I did bring some cards, so this is going to be like I'm actually communicating with you. So I'll know I'm going to need you. So you need each other. So you can do that if you like. All right, so this is now moves us into part 2, and so of the conversation, and we're going to move into creativity, but of a different kind, and we're going to be exploring it through food. I'd like to introduce you to 2 women who turned their passion for food and how to get creative with it into a business. They began the Foodey Meal Kit in 2017, alongside opening up a cafe. A little way into the business, they realised that the Foodey Meal Kit was actually propping up the cafe, and a business decision had to be made, or they believed that it had to be made, and so they closed the cafe. A few weeks after that, or pretty soon after that, COVID struck, right? Their business went nuts. Right? Interesting timing, really interesting timing. And it began as a small business and it grew organically to a point where they had to move premises. So we're talking about two women who created a foodie meal kit along with recipe cards that they put into their kits. So yes, thank you. So let me introduce you to Michelle and Terry of Foodie Meal Kit. We're going to need some chairs, and I'm going to grab my chair. So I understand we've got about 10 minutes to have a chat, ladies, and then we can open the floor to questions. The first question is, what made you start actually Foodie Meal Kit?
Well, from the beginning, Terry and I were friends, so never discount that for something, for someone going into business. They say you shouldn't go into business with family and friends, but you've got to go into business with someone sometimes. So we were friends initially who wanted this. We wanted this in our own lives. Just like you guys all love art or something creative and you love it in your life, other people will love it in their life. So we kind of just got out of our own way and created something that we knew that we wanted ourselves.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Anything to say?
Yeah, because we sort of spend every minute saying to each other, what will you have for dinner? And writing notes and everything. And then Michelle said to me, I've been to Woolworths 18 times this month, something's got to give. And I said, well, let's come up with something. We came up with the idea of foodie, and then I mostly never would have done anything because I'm more of a creative type.
Yeah.
And then Michelle came to me the following week with a business plan. I'm like, well, you're the type of person that if I'm going to do something, it's going to work. So Michelle came into this with all the accounting and all the things that you need.
Brilliant, you're prepared.
I'm the airy-fairy one, and I just like to play with food and make things pretty. And together we both override everything together now. We both do everything together, and it just seems to work because we love it.
Sounds like you really complemented each other with the skills.
Yeah.
You're different, but that's what makes it work, right?
Yeah.
So what did you need to start the business?
A like-minded person to go into business with. If you're not wanting to do it solo, go out there and chat to your friends or family and find someone that does complement you or is like-minded with yourself. There's nothing wrong with it, not doing it just on your own. That's something that we would both say. We're both looking to do something away from our other professions, but unless we had each other to prop ourselves up, to motivate ourselves, and we're pretty motivated people anyway, we probably wouldn't have done it. That's to be honest. So don't feel that you've got to be flying solo. And it doesn't mean just one person. You might join forces with a few people who all want the same thing, and you can complement each other. So I would never steer clear of just saying, I want to do this on my own, because that's, you wear a lot of hats anyway.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It can be.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a roller coaster, right?
Yeah,
Or it can
absolutely.
be. Yeah, definitely. So we don't want to, I guess, sugarcoat it. Running a business can be pretty challenging, pretty tricky, but there are also great joys and opportunities and plenty of growth.
Yeah, absolutely. And something shared is a lot more fun, put it that way.
Yeah, we do have fun.
Now, you didn't have any money left marketing because you spent it on buying a building, right?
Sure.
Okay, so how did you promote yourself to get the message out to the local community?
I guess we positioned ourselves on a busy street, part of a community, and that was always going to be important to us. We were going to we always had in mind to do the meal kit, that's why we started the business. So we knew we had to be a part of, surround ourselves with the community. That was number one for us. So we positioned our shop and around probably a nice suburb that was going to need us. That was probably something you don't want to be in the back block somewhere, even if someone gives you free rent, because no one will find you. You're not a visual, you obviously want to get your wares or whatever it is out there. So that would be important.
Did you do that on purpose? Like your location, you chose that particular?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So waiting for the right, space is sometimes an important step.
I think you see that when we found it, we knew we loved it. And we thought we can do that there. And then when the council said that we needed to have a shop for people to come in, because no one understood what a meal kit was.
Yes.
It wasn't in Bunbury then, how fresh and everyone was elsewhere here.
Okay.
So we said, we'll have a coffee shop. So that was not our first thing we were going to do, so that was sort of a second.
Yeah.
And that didn't take up our time, but it was also great because we had a community table people loved it. People came in every day, so it was nice. People got to know us.
It was a perfect introduction, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really good. So, finish this sentence for me. The role of COVID was what to your business?
Put us in a pressure pot. It really did. We had to make sure our staff stayed well, because at that stage we probably had 8 part-time or casual staff. So number one, without them, we don't have a business. You know, we can't do it on our own. Initially it was just Terry and myself, but then within the first few weeks of running a meal kit business, you suddenly realise you need other people. You can't do it all yourself. And that would be another tip. Don't be shy of just asking even people if they want to volunteer and help you. Take that opportunity to, because you can step out and sometimes you see things a bit clearer. But COVID really did put us under pressure from every angle, from suppliers being able to give us a product, to also being able to deliver that in a safe way to our customers, to keeping ourselves and our staff safe. That was probably our main thing we took away from it.
Even having to then develop new recipes for
Yeah.
food that we could to supply, because just like it was hard for everyone else to go to shops and get these products, we still had over 100 families that were still ordering every week, and we had to deliver, and we wanted to be able to do that.
And I guess, I mean, really, you created an essential service at that point, right?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's
And they were more,
that was amazing.
our customers were more grateful than ever, but they were also telling their friends and their family, get on, and we're like, oh gee, hang on.
So you're
This could
growing,
just-
and there's a supply issue.
And suddenly we've got the cafe closed, it's a different feel in the shop, and and it was, it's a
And then there
different
was
kind of
no
pressure.
advertising, because couldn't, because if we did, we had the risk of not having to say no, we can't supply.
Can't fulfill the orders that we've got, so
God, imagine being in that position, eh?
Oh yeah,
It's
it's
tricky.
It's
really grateful
Yeah,
that sometimes we fell on the handbrake.
So how did you end up finding your ideal customer?
They found us.
Right, okay, so you're lucky again.
Because
Because of COVID, essentially.
well, we don't. It's,
I think it's from the cafe, creating that shared experience where people could come into a space and feel comfortable, and we were there every day showing up. They felt they could ask us questions. What is this? Do you think it's going to suit my lifestyle? I'll give it a shot when we do start up. So it created that bit of a feel for what we did and what we stand for. And we weren't going to disappear. We were still going to be there. You know where we are when you need us. So I think that's why customers then kind of felt confident in what we were doing. So I guess we built
and the kind of
that.
food that we deliver.
Yeah.
And we're not, not mainstream, and it's not for everyone.
Okay.
But we didn't want to be for everyone, because we otherwise would have gone into a big business straight away. But we started small and we developed, so we cater for all different allergies and different, dietary requirements, and so we kept it small so we can do that.
Fantastic. That's awesome.
That'd be a takeaway. Don't try and cater for everyone with whatever you're making or doing, or there's so many people out there that love all different things. So
You started out small, and yet you grew organically fairly quickly. And you had COVID that helped with your success. It almost threw you in there, right? So thinking about 2017 to 2022, what's success like for you? What is it?
Oh, look, for us, it's definitely people walking in that door on Monday and saying it's the best part about their week. So that for us is just a kick, and it's just, that gives us a thrill. Look, the cha-ching on the phone, when Shopify tells you you've got a new order.
And you always who ordered. So
it's always a buzz, but it's not just a monetary aspect at all. It's about having a team of like-minded people around us that love coming to work. That's probably success for us.
And us wanting to go to work every day because we have fun.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. That's really good mental and emotional well-being, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You went from the 5 staff to now 14 staff.
Yep.
So how do you feel about being responsible for those lives as well?
I used to love payday. I used to love it. Okay, everyone gets paid for an hour.
I don't really like Michelle does it.
Yeah, it takes 2.5 hours long, but it's fine. Zero's pretty much takes care of it. And also, guys, there's heaps of resources out there. So if you haven't got a business head on you, there's so many people like Sana out there that will definitely help. You don't have to have all hats on. We have a lot of hats on, but we've also outsourced some of the business that we don't want to do. So a web development, it's an e-commerce site that we run. Terry and I need to know about it, absolutely, but we don't know the ins and outs, and we've got our web developer who's on board with us. She's part of our family, and she doesn't work for us, but she works with us, so just know that you don't have to do it all, I guess.
Yeah, well that's right. I know one of our services, we have a digital marketing specialist, Jerry, who helps with websites. We look at social media, we look at content development, we look at marketing. So we do cover a lot of areas. We have about 7 advisors at the moment, and if I'm not able to assist you, then I certainly, ask around, and we also have our referral partners as well to help. Final question. Any words of wisdom for the creatives in the audience who want to run a business, who love what they do and want to be successful in it?
I think if you love what you do, you will succeed, and just enjoy every moment of it.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
One thing one of you said to me, because we're on the phone, I can't remember who it was, you said back yourself.
Oh yeah, stay in your own lane.
Yeah.
Look at your competitors or what other people are doing in the same space, absolutely. But try and create your own journey. I guess don't try and follow someone else, which creatives generally don't. They try and always bust out of the, scenes. But yeah, definitely just try and run your own race. In your own time, like we didn't, obviously Terry said, we didn't throw ourselves into the big fire pit and try and be massive to start with. We just grew organically what we could manage. We had little kids, we had 9-year-olds, with a family that was still number one. So just...
But if you do it like that too, you can listen to feedback and actually grow by points that they say, and you can change. If you do it too big, you miss all of that. You just need to listen to what people have to say.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next slide, please, Dean. Audience Q&A. we're at that point, and so essentially we're happy to answer your questions, whether it be for the ladies or for myself for business advisory.
Anything you would do differently second time around?
What do we do differently? Oh God, we've had such a good run.
Yeah. I think taking a lot on board ourselves from the accounts and the recipes, we did photos ourselves, we pretty much did it all, and having each other to bounce each other off everything. I think that helps, have someone to talk to.
And you guys are lucky. I mean, I work with a number of people who don't have they don't have living partners, so they could come to us for that, and they find that's very helpful, because sometimes your family don't understand what you're doing, or maybe you're
passionate about it. You just want to
but they also work with people that just their families don't support them, like they don't get what they're doing, and so therefore they need to talk to someone. And sometimes it's better to actually go to someone that doesn't know you, that doesn't know your circumstance, that's going to act impartially. So that's where we come in.
And we tell anyone that comes on board, and tell ourselves, just go with where your strengths are.
Yeah.
So, wherever you're a strong player, focus on that and leave the other stuff to other people.
I know I have to do things that aren't my strengths.
Yeah, sorry.
But you're learning, right? You're learning. It's part of that journey.
Yeah.
You're learning.
And you grow a lot in the first year or two.
Yeah.
Like you're just learning and doing things differently all the time. And no way's right or wrong, you just learn and do it a better way.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
Always room for improvement.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyone else have any other
I
questions?
just wanted to make a comment, and what I really like about what you said is that if you really love something, you can get that enthusiasm out to other people. I think probably what's all set up, because we watched you go from up the road on Beach Road, and we used to always get our coffees and I'd do my clinic there, and my secretary always just come and get our lunch and we were still there. And when I had a really horrible injury, we had new kids at home. But what I really like is that you guys are actually your target, which also makes it easier to develop something, because you're making it for people like you. Busy lives, busy family, needs some help, or organisation. And I think, what you said is so important about having that right spot, because in that community in Beach Road, everyone walks past it.
Yeah.
You can't help but notice it.
Yeah.
I think that was a really good place for you guys to start.
Yeah, absolutely. And never underestimate that, because there's power in that. Like, and there's word of mouth and everything.
So that's your free advertising.
Yeah,
That's your location. You chose well.
In saying that, a lot of our customers weren't from that area, so we've got Collie, Australind, Eden, Leschenault, Osselton.
Is it easy to find them?
Was it?
Is it easy to find?
Do you know what I think we have?
It's just word of mouth.
And social media. Once it got up momentum, once you get a few, 100 people, 1,000 people following you, and then that momentum start to happen, don't underestimate
And I
that.
think we had 1,000 people follow us before we even opened the door.
Oh,
And that was just a month of renovating the shop.
Yeah.
So,
So do a mural or paint something that you kind of follow your journey, or do something creative.
That's what they got
Okay.
out there.
So did you started building?
We renovated.
So and you were showing pictures before,
videos,
Like painting and
and
everything.
kids in there and everything, you know.
That's a great tip, everyone. That's really
And don't make sure your makeup's right or anything, you know, whatever, just candid, just go for it, and people just seem to love that.
Just don't look back at it.
Don't look back.
And people love, look at your social media and see how many people have been looking at it. And if you put a person in there, yourself in there, so many more people, you get so many more likes and so much more traction. It's nice to people see your pictures of your food, but it doesn't get near as many
That's
likes
interesting.
as your
Because
picture.
the photographs that you take are really beautiful and they're very eye-catching. You know, but maybe from time to time, if you have you done videos and then people
I love
videos.
But
You don't, but they do.
But yes, you have to put yourself in photos. All your team, you know, people just love people.
Yeah.
Just remember that. So someone holding a new purchase or whatever speaks way more volume than just a gorgeous photo on its own. You know, for some reason, people love people.
Good connections.
Hmm.
Final question. Lucy, Joe? Okay. All right. Well, ladies,
Is that
thank you. I think that's about right. Yes, it is.